Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about the NBA Monday night slate, and there were four marquee matchups. All these teams that played in these games last night have a chance to either make the playoffs or make the play-in tournament. So the very first game I'm going to cover is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Indiana Pacers. Now, Indiana Pacers are 42 and 29. They are currently third. Well, excuse me, they are currently fourth in the Eastern Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they are seventh in the in the Western Conference right now. So the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, their starters, Julius Randle, 9 points, Jaden McDaniels, 6 points, Rudy Gobert, 16 points, Mike Conley, 7 points, Anthony Edwards, 17. If they keep Anthony Edwards under 30 points and have other players shoulder the load, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they might be able to make some noise. Now, they are going to make some noise by default anyway because they have Anthony Edwards on the team, and Anthony Edwards believes that he could beat any opponent that he faces, and rightly so. He should believe that he is the franchise player for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the bench production for the Minnesota Timberwolves, which really it did okay last night, but like I said, playoffs are gonna start in 3 weeks, so all of these bench players, they are not going to get many minutes like they did throughout the regular season. So I believe that in the playoffs you can only have 8, 9 guys in your lineup. You have five, and then you have the traditional 3 to 4 that come off the bench. Now, right now, just like right now, what teams are doing, they're just trying to get their bench lineup together for the playoffs. So when the starters need to take a breather, they will know who is who in their bench lineup. So back to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Josh Minott, 5 points. Luke Garza, 2 points. Nas Reed, 20 points. Bones Highland, 0 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 9 points. Nickel Alexander Walker, 6 points. Jalen Clark, 6 points. Terrence Shannon Jr., 0 points. Rob Dillingham, 0 points. Now, for the Minnesota Timberwolves, we all know that they are going to scrap and claw when it comes to a game of some sort, when it comes to a game. And now, when we see the Minnesota Timberwolves, we know that they are kind of frail when it comes to what I mean by frail is when it comes to defense. Now over the past couple of weeks, we've seen the Timberwolves defense get shredded. And I do mean shredded because it was one team I if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Phoenix Suns that shot the lights out from 3 point from the 3 point line against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves, they couldn't do nothing about it. But when the Timberwolves played the Denver Nuggets, if you believe in such ridiculousness, it seems like the Minnesota Timberwolves are trying to become the Denver Nuggets kryptonite. But more times than not, over the last 3 years, Denver have won over the Minnesota Timberwolves more times than not. So you have the Minnesota Timberwolves, not a young team, but they've gained experience over the last 3 to 4 years being in the playoffs. And then you have this team in the Pacers. When it comes to the Pacers, you know that they are just an average team. Pascal Siakam, 14 points. Aaron Naismith, 17 points. Miles Turner, 7 points. Andrew Nabar, 6 points. Tyrese Halliburton, 24 points. Now, Tyrese Halliburton, he is the driving force, but I don't see the Pacers going very far like they did last year. Now, last year, they got lucky to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I don't see that this year because you have Cleveland, Boston, and it's just a two-team race in the East for me. That's what I've been saying all season. It is a two-team race. Indiana Pacers bench, Obi Toppin, 20 points. Jarese Walker, 2 points. Johnny Furphy, 0 points. Thomas Bryant, 6 points. TJ McConnell, 10 points. Benedict Mathurin, 11 points. Ben Shepherd, 2 points. Quentin Johnson, 0 points. Indiana Pacers. Now, the standings, the playoff standings, can someone please pull them up for me? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, here is the standings for the Eastern Conference. Right now, the Indiana Pacers are fourth. They are fourth right now, and they are 2 games back, 2.5 games back of the third spot. Can the Pacers really make it to the third spot before the season ends? I believe so. Now, the New York Knicks in this situation, like I've been saying all throughout the season with the New York Knicks, I'll believe it when I see it. But as of right now, I'm talking about the Pacers. The Pacers, they are a team that can really, they just try to outscore you. That's what it's been. Last year, they did the same exact thing, try and outshoot you and outscore you. But when it comes to the playoffs, you are going to have to play defense sometime or another when it comes to playing in the playoffs. And the Pacers, they don't have good defense. They don't. They can't defend at an excellent rate like these other teams can, like Cleveland can, Boston can. The New York Knicks, they are up and down. Sometimes, some nights it seems like that. Some nights the New York Knicks, they hold their opponents under 100 points, and other nights it seems like they just let them go crazy from three and like shoot with so much efficiency to the point where it's like, is there anybody out there to defend for the New York Knicks? And the Pacers, they are the exact same way. The Milwaukee Bucks are the exact same way. The Milwaukee Bucks, I don't even see them. They are not a championship contender. And the Indiana Pacers are not a championship contender. Despite what we saw last year, Indiana is just maybe a first or second round team, and then they will be out of the playoffs. The Milwaukee Bucks, worst case scenario, they get to the second round and lose. Worst case scenario, they get to the second round and lose. Best case scenario, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Milwaukee Bucks, and lose. But let me tell you, the Milwaukee Bucks, they don't have a great bench. The Pacers, they don't have a great bench. So that is what's going to hurt the Pacers early. That's what's going to hurt the Pacers later on this season and into the playoffs. Now, we look at the game statistics, and it's pretty much it's pretty much the same, pretty much the same. Not too many disparities when it comes to the statistics between the T-Wolves and the Pacers. The next game I am going to cover is the Chicago Bulls and the Denver Nuggets. I wasn't expecting the Denver Nuggets to lose this game. I wasn't. But as of right now, you have the Chicago Bulls 32-40. You have them currently at the 9th spot in the East, And in the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets are currently the third spot in the West. So this game, this basically was for the Bulls. This game was basically a rendition of what had transpired over the weekend when they played the Lakers. They had a very efficient night, had 146 points when they played against the Lakers over the weekend. Last night, the Nuggets, the, the Chicago Bulls had a very efficient night again. Now, when we get to their starters, Montez Zubelis, 10 points. Nikola Vukovic, 13 points. Kobe White, he has had the past 2 or 3 games, he's been on a tear. With the Lakers, he scored 40 points. With last night's game versus the Nuggets, he scored 37. Kevin Hunter, 9 points. Josh Giddey, 26 points. The Bulls are a team that are not going to go very far in the playoffs. To me they are a below average team, but since the Eastern Conference, the bottom half of the Eastern Conference is playing so bad right now the between the seed spots of 7 and 10, it's like anybody through the 7 and 10 spot, those play-in tournament spots are up for grabs. Now, for a while there, the Miami Heat were in the 9th spot. Now they've dropped to the 10th spot. And also, the Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat are exactly in the same boat. But they don't have the same amount of wins. But as far as when they go head to head, they have the same amount of wins in head to head battles. So the Chicago Bulls bench, Zach Collins, 0 points. Jalen Smith, 14 points. Patrick Williams, 6 points. Dalen Terry, 14 points. Julian Phillips, 0 points. For the Bulls, this has just been a rebuilding phase for them over the past, I'm going to say, since Derrick Rose since Derrick Rose left the Bulls, and it's basically the Bulls have been trying to find a guy that can, take over a game. And, right now it's been Kobe White over these last 4 to 5 games or so. And the Bulls, what they need to do now is try and get a franchise player, because you need a cornerstone if you want to bring in big time free agents for future playoff runs. But as of right now, it's just a bunch of below average to average players trying to get a playoff spot. And for the Bulls, I just don't see them getting very far. They'll make it to the play-in tournament. If they keep on winning, they'll make the play-in tournament. But if they start losing these last 12 to 14 games or so, they will be out of the play-in tournament. And for the Denver Nuggets all throughout this season, I have said, I've already said I don't have any concerns with their starting five. Peyton Watson, 24 points. Michael Porter Jr., 16 points. DeAndre Jordan, 10 points. Jamal Murray, 28 points. Christian Braun, 18 points. I don't have any problem with their starting five. It's just their bench production that is going to hurt them in the playoffs. Zeke Naji, 7 points. Balko Kankar, 0 points. Russell Westbrook, 14 points. Now, Russell Westbrook, he is the person, I call him the leader of the bench players, because he can come off the bench and pretty much take the game to another level. When the Denver Nuggets starters bring the fire into the game, Russell Wilson is a person that can exceed the momentum and just extend that level of momentum in the Denver Nuggets' favor. Jalen Pickett, he had 2 points last night. And when we looked as far as team statistics, when we go from team to statistics, we see where the Denver Nuggets actually lost this game. They didn't make enough threes. The difference between threes in this game was the Bulls made 17 threes, the Denver Nuggets made 11. Free throws, Bulls made 22, the Denver Nuggets made 16. They didn't get to the free throw line as much. As far as rebounds concerned, now this is where the statistics kind of go into the Denver Nuggets' favor. Total rebounds, Nuggets plus 11. They out rebounded Chicago by 11, 52 to, they out rebounded them by 9, 52 to 43. Offensive rebounds plus 5 for Denver. Defensive rebounds plus 4 for the Nuggets. Assists plus 3 for the Nuggets. Steals plus 3 for Chicago. Blocks plus 4 for the Denver Nuggets. Total turnovers plus 2 for the Denver Nuggets. Now, I've said time and time again, when you turn the ball over 10 plus times in basketball, you will lose. Now, the Bulls, they were just fortunate. They had 10 turnovers, but as far as as far as points off of turnovers, it didn't hurt the Chicago Bulls as much. Denver only had 15 points off of Chicago Bulls turnovers, and Chicago Bulls only had 14 points off of Denver's turnovers. Fast break points plus 20 for the Chicago Bulls, 31 to 11. Points in the paint plus 2 for the Denver Nuggets. Fouls plus 1. When it comes to the Chicago Bulls, they had more fouls. This game, you look back at the end of the regular season, the Denver Nuggets, they are just going to chop this game up they already have chopped this game up as a loss. But I already see this. When teams know that they are going to the playoffs, they are just going through the motions the last 3 weeks of the regular season because they are just trying to get to the playoffs. That is all they are. They are just trying to get to the playoffs and not experience any injuries. That's all. Not experience any injuries. The next game I'm going to cover is the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now the Milwaukee Bucks are 40 and 30, 41, 40, 41, 40 and 31. They are fifth in the Eastern Conference, and we know that the Phoenix Suns are 10th in the 10th spot of the Western Conference right now. Now we see where the Milwaukee Bucks last night, it was pretty much almost like a one-man show. It really was, because you see Taurean Prince 3 points, Giannis Antetokounmpo 31 points, Kyle Kuzma 15 points, Brook Lopez 23 points, Ryan Rollins 8 points. And then as far as bench production, they didn't have much bench production. They didn't. Gary Trent Jr., 19 points. Kevin Porter Jr., 5 points. AJ Green, 2 points. For the Milwaukee Bucks, like I said earlier in the show, the Milwaukee Bucks are not a championship contending team. The best case scenario is, well, the worst case scenario, they lose in the first round and then they go home. The best case scenario, they they win the first round and get knocked out in the second round. But when I tell you, the Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard experience is about done. It really is, because this happened even before Damian Lillard came to Milwaukee. But Giannis, he always said that he wanted, deeper. If he goes to the playoffs, he always wanted deeper playoff runs. Now, outside of them winning the championship over the Phoenix Suns in 2021, the Bucks, they haven't gotten back to the Eastern Conference Finals at all. So it's just been, you know, second round exit in 2022, second round exit in 2023, first round exit last year, and first round exit last year over the Indiana Pacers. So the Milwaukee Bucks, they are not they don't wow you on paper. They don't, because it's a two-man wrecking crew with the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Giannis, and then it is Damian Lillard. Now, Damian Lillard, he didn't play last night because he's nursing an injury a little bit. But at the end of the day, we didn't at the end of the season, well, coming into the season, excuse me, we had the Milwaukee Bucks up on a high pedestal as far as, championship contenders, but the Milwaukee Bucks, they are just an average team just going through the motions that just happen to have two superstar players and nobody else that can deliver the goods when it's time to step up to the plate and put up or shut up. So, the Phoenix Suns, another team that we projected to be in the thick of things come playoffs and being a championship contender. Kevin Durant, he had 38 points. Ryan Dunn had 12 points. Nick Richards had 10 points. Devin Booker, 19 points. Colin Gillespie had 6 points. The bench production for the Phoenix Suns: Royce O'Neal, 3 points. Cody Martin, 5 points. Oshie Angario, 4 points. Tyus Jones, 8 points. Grayson Allen, 3 points. Now, one thing I can say about both of these teams, they are in the exact same boat. And both of these teams did the exact same thing in free agency. Couple of years ago, free agency, the Phoenix Suns, they reached out to Kevin Durant. He went to the Phoenix Suns. Year and a half ago, Bucks, they reached out to Damian Lillard. He came to the Milwaukee Bucks. When you have owners, now we already know that the Phoenix Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, he's the type of owner that likes to build on success and be in win now mode every time. And the Milwaukee Bucks owner, he is the exact same way. But like I've always been saying, you cannot bring now the fact of the matter is, a lot of sports fans think that you can put 2, maybe 3 superstars together and instantly win a championship. Right. That has always happened. We already know that happened with, we can go down a list. We know that can happen, that happened with Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain. We know that happened with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We know that happened with Larry Bird and Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale and all of those other guys on Boston back in the 80s. We know that with the Chicago Bulls, it happened with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and even with the Lakers in the 2000s with Shaq and Kobe. Then we shift on over to the 2010s with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Then we had LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. Then we had Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. So what I mean, what am I saying? What is my point here? I'm saying that every time you conjoin 2 or 3 superstars together, you're not going to have a championship team. The players, they have to get acquainted with each other and learn each other's deficiencies and what they are efficient at. Giannis, we already know what he is deficient at and efficient at. Now, Milwaukee Bucks, the head coach they had before Doc Rivers, he didn't emphasize defense. Doc Rivers, he was a consultant for the Milwaukee Bucks, so they just gave him the team on a silver platter. Now, for the Phoenix Suns, the head coach they had prior to this, Monty Williams, didn't do much. Didn't do much at all. He tried to emphasize defense, but we already know that Phoenix, they are a team that is built to outscore you and outshoot you. And with Mike Budenholzer at the helm, he's not going to do much. He's not going to do much with the Phoenix Suns at all. The Phoenix Suns, as far as draft picks, they don't have a first-round draft pick for the next 4 years. So they are going to be picking down at the bottom of the draft. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they have 3 first-round draft picks in the next 3 years. So they are like at the middle of the pack. The Phoenix Suns, what they are going to have to do is build their team through free agency. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks, they can still build their team through the draft. But as far as the Milwaukee Bucks, what they have to do, their number one job is trying to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. So, the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks have some tough situations to make in the coming months. It's March 25th, 2025. What will they be like this time in 3 to 4 years? It remains to be seen. But both of these teams have been on a downward spiral ever since the Milwaukee Bucks and Phoenix Suns met in the NBA Finals a few short years ago. The next and last game I am going to cover is the Boston Celtics and the Sacramento Kings. I did see what happened last night with Jason Tatum. Hopefully Jason Tatum gets back and he is not out for a long extended period of time. So, Jason Tatum, 25 points. Kristaps Porzingis, 16 points. Drew Holiday, 5 points. Derek White, 12 points. Jaylen Brown, 9 points. The bench production for the Boston Celtics, Drew Peterson, 0 points. Baylor Shererman, 9 points. Luke Cornett, 13 points. Nemasa Quetta, 2 points. Peyton Pritchard, 22 points. J.D. Davison, 0 points. Jordan Walsh, 0 points. The Sacramento Kings, the Sacramento Kings, right now they are at the 9th spot currently right now, and the Celtics are in the 2nd spot. So for the Sacramento Kings, their starters, Domantas Sabonis, 16 points. DeMar DeRozan, 20 points. Keegan Murray, 13 points. Zach LaVine, 14 points. Keon Ellis, 14 points. The bench production for the Sacramento Kings. Trey Lyles, 0 points. Terry Taylor, 0 points. Jake LaRivia, 2 points. Isaiah Crawford, 0 points. Jonas Valanciunas, 4 points. Isaac Jones, 4 points. Markelle Fultz, 8 points. Mason Jones, 0 points. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing I can say is that we all know that injuries are a part of the game, and I know exactly what that injury was last night. That was a tweaked ankle, because I remember when I was in high school and I was playing basketball for my high school basketball team. I had that exact injury, and within a few days, I was able to get up and walk and put pressure on my right leg. So the injury that Jayson Tatum has, it's not going to keep him out for that long. It's not, because I've experienced it. Now, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you from my experience. When it comes to that injury, I know exactly what the time frame is. Now, the statistics for this game are about the same. Only difference is the 3-point disparity. 19 of 50, Boston Celtics. 18 of 24, Sacramento Kings. Rebounds, the same, 45. Offensive rebounds, +2 for the Boston Celtics. Defensive rebounds, +2 for the Sacramento Kings. Assists, +5 for the Boston Celtics. Steals, +2 for the Boston Celtics. Blocks, +3 for the Boston Celtics. Turnovers. The Boston Celtics had 10, and the Sacramento Kings had 15 points off of turnovers. 7 for the Celtics, 14 for the Sacramento Kings. Fast break points, 5 points for the Boston Celtics, 7 points for the Sacramento Kings. Points in the paint, +8 for the Sacramento Kings, 40-48. Fouls. Sacramento Kings had more fouls. The largest lead for this game was 22 for the Celtics. That's what they won by. The largest lead for the Sacramento Kings was 9. So, hopefully Jayson Tatum comes back stronger than ever. 3 more weeks until the final playoff spots are unveiled to us. And with that, those are my reactions to the NBA Monday night slate. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Also, we are doing an expansion here on YouTube and on my Instagram page, Key City Sports. I'm about to go and do a show on there. So what you what you can do is fast forward over to my Instagram show, Key City Sports, because I am going to talk about the exact same 4 games that we just talked about on here. I'm going to go over there and talk about that, and then we will finish out the day on a good note. So, one last thing, remember, the key is always on time.